As the morning sun painted St. Pete's beach waves in golden hues, Caroline Bradley stood on her home balcony. The sea breeze gently tousled her shoulder-length blonde hair as a flock of pelicans glided gracefully over the waves in the distance. This sight had become her daily ritual during her 12 years of marriage. The Hurricane Seafood restaurant's sign gleamed in the morning light, and the bustling sounds of tourists were already drifting over from John's Pass village. At 35, Caroline had made quite a name for herself as one of the region's top real estate investment advisors. Her calm demeanor masked a sharp analytical mind that had earned her clients' unwavering trust. With over a decade of experience, she had developed a particular knack for identifying the true value of beachfront properties. Her reputation in the industry was cemented when she helped a client make a substantial profit on a high-end property near the Don Caesar Hotel. Her home in the quiet residential area of Pass-a-Grille Beach stood as a testament to her investment success. The two-story house, with its pristine white exterior and striking deep blue window frames, was known in the neighborhood for its beautiful garden, which often served as a gathering spot for Sunday brunches with neighbors. "Caroline, is breakfast ready yet?" Michael's voice echoed from inside. He still took pride in his high school swimming career. While his good looks and sociable nature as a sales representative earned him decent respect, behind his confident exterior lay complicated feelings about depending on his wife's financial prowess. His knowledge of investments remained superficial, yet he was overconfident. Lately, he developed a habit of bragging about his wife's successful investments to colleagues as if they were his own achievements. "It's all ready," Caroline replied. When Caroline returned to the dining room, she found her sister April there too, dressed in a flashy red blouse, busily checking social media on her smartphone. It had been a year since April, who worked part-time as a hairstylist, had moved in with them. After divorcing her husband due to his gambling addiction, she'd spent 2 years drifting from place to place. "Pancakes again?" "I'm on a diet, you know." April's words carried their usual subtle criticism of her sister. While sharing the latest diet tips she'd heard from her friend at Sweet Brunette Cafe as if she were an expert, she cast furtive glances at the maple syrup and berries on the table. Having gone through a divorce 2 years ago, she couldn't quite hide her envy of her sister's stable life. "Oh, is that so? Then I'll just make them for Michael," Caroline responded with a gentle smile. Her expression suggested she was well aware of the emotions lurking behind her sister's words. Even when shopping at Publix, Caroline would thoughtfully select ingredients her sister liked, though sometimes these considerate gestures only served to aggravate April's feelings of inferiority. Their house in the upscale neighborhood presented a picture of peaceful family life on the surface. However, the reality balanced precariously on delicate dynamics. Caroline's investment income supported most of the household, while Michael harbored growing feelings of inadequacy about this arrangement, and April nursed her envy of her sister's lifestyle. The humid air seemed to make the invisible tensions in the house even heavier. After breakfast, Michael departed with a quick, "heading out early today, leaving for work." The pressure of his job as an insurance salesman was evident in his departing figure. His ambition to surpass his wife's earning power, combined with his shallow understanding of investments, created internal conflict. He'd increasingly resorted to exaggerated sales pitches to acquire new clients. As Caroline cleared the dishes, she gazed out at the ocean through the window. The memory of dreaming about retirement in a beach house with Michael 12 years ago felt as fresh as yesterday. That dream still lived quietly in her heart. Now in June, the humid winds announcing the start of hurricane season rustled through the palm trees in the garden, seemingly reflecting the uncertainty drifting through her mind. In her office at dusk, Caroline was reviewing her final email of the day. A high-end condominium development project in Pasagrille Beach. Just as she finished adding her digital signature to the contract announcing this major real estate deal's success, her colleague Jennifer tapped her shoulder lightly. "Happy anniversary, Caroline. 12 years, right?" "Thank you," Caroline smiled in response. "You remembered. Does Michael have anything special planned? Dinner at the Don Caesar Hotel like last year?" Caroline lowered her eyes for just a moment at that question. She remembered how last year's dinner had been hastily changed to the Hurricane Seafood restaurant after Michael forgot to make reservations. "I'm planning something myself this time." Outside the window, the Florida sunset was painting St. Pete's beach waves crimson. As she left the office, she had made up her mind. While driving, she stopped at a digital shop near John's Pass Village. The store was filled with the latest gadgets, and tourist families were printing souvenir photos. When Caroline approached the clerk saying, "I'd like to edit some photos and videos," she received instructions about the necessary software. The young clerk, sensing she was a beginner, took extra care in explaining how to use it. That night, Michael had messaged to say he'd be late due to drinks with clients, and April was out to dinner with friends. She'd been going out more frequently lately. Alone, Caroline began selecting photos from 12 years of memories, spreading albums before her. Wedding photos. Moving day pictures. Beach vacation snapshots. Each photo contained the smiles of their younger selves. Particularly striking was a photo from their Hawaii trip 5 years ago. One shot from Sunset Beach showed them both still youthful, Michael with his arm around her waist, she smiling happily. As she organized the albums, she found several old receipts. Breakfast at the Sweet Brunette Cafe, shopping at Publix, tickets from the local movie theater. These small traces of daily life brought unexpected tears to her eyes. Just as she found an especially precious photo, a voice came from behind. "What are you doing?" Turning around, she saw April had returned early. Her elaborate makeup was slightly smudged. A strong perfume scent filled the room. "Just putting together some memories," Caroline answered quietly. She quietly reached for a drawer and pulled out an envelope. It was the deed to a beach house. She had already decided to include it at the end of the video. She felt April's eyes on the envelope, but her sister said nothing. On their anniversary morning, Caroline woke earlier than usual. She was in the kitchen making pancakes from a special recipe. The scent of maple syrup wafted through the room. She carefully arranged blueberries and raspberries, adding a heart-shaped decoration with whipped cream. "I'm in a hurry," Michael said, crossing the living room while adjusting his tie. It was a new tie, not one she had chosen. Got a meeting at the office. No one touched the homemade pancakes on the table. April too left the room saying, "Sorry, I'm on a diet right now." She had taken extra care with her makeup today. Caroline quietly cleared away the dishes alone. Outside the window, the morning sun was rising, already promising another hot day. That evening, Michael had just finished his shower when he returned home. Water dripped from his hair, and the scent of expensive aftershave lingered in the air. "There's something I'd like you to see," Caroline said, holding out a carefully wrapped DVD, decorated with a light blue ribbon. It represented her best effort at presentation. "What's this?" Michael's voice already carried a note of irritation. Usually better at hiding his emotions, today was different. The screen lit up. Beginning with their wedding day smiles, followed by new home commemoration photos, beach vacation memories. Their favorite song played in the background. And just as the beach house photo was about to appear at the end. "Who wants to watch this?" Michael stopped the playback after about 20 seconds. Caroline's expression froze for a moment. His words revealed his resolve. He no longer wanted to see their future together. "Actually, I need to tell you something." Michael's voice carried an almost liberated tone. Footsteps descended the stairs. April appeared in a flashy negligee. "From now on, I'll be living with April." Michael's words rang colder than the air conditioning. "I don't need your help anymore. I can succeed on my own now. I can handle investments too." Caroline quietly nodded. "I understand." On the TV screen, the video continued playing silently. The image remained frozen just before transitioning to the next scene, where the beach house photo was about to appear. Outside, heavy rain pattered against the windows. The sound masked the quiet toll of victory bells ringing in Caroline's heart, unnoticed by anyone else. In an apartment not far from St. Pete's Beach, near John's Pass Village, Caroline had started her new life. The window offered a view of streets bustling with tourists, a different kind of energy from her former upscale neighborhood. A week after moving, half the cardboard boxes remained unpacked. However, Caroline's work desk was already perfectly organized. Multiple monitors displayed real estate market analysis data, with new investment proposal files neatly arranged. "I knew you'd be fine," Jennifer said, visiting with a bottle of wine. She'd also brought a box of special cookies from Sweet Brunette Cafe. "This place is surprisingly nice, isn't it?" Caroline smiled in response. Areas with lots of tourists make it easier to spot real estate market trends. In fact, her work performance had become even sharper than before. Cool-headed judgment unclouded by emotions, precise investment advice based on data. Recently, she'd started receiving offers from major investment funds. Meanwhile, at the old house, Michael and April had begun their new life. The white mansion in the upscale neighborhood was gradually losing its grandeur. "Hey, shouldn't we replace all this furniture?" April said, sitting on the sofa Caroline had chosen. "I want something more modern." Michael silently handed over his credit card. His insurance sales were supposedly going well. At least, that's what he claimed. New furniture arrived one after another, and April's Instagram was filled with daily posts tagged "New Life." However, contrary to the superficial glamour, cracks in their relationship were already beginning to show. "Why did you start such high-risk investments without telling me?" April's voice echoed through the living room one night. Michael had ventured into emerging cryptocurrency trading. The investment basics he should have learned from Caroline had somehow become distorted. "Shut up." Michael's shout cut through the quiet night air of the residential area. "You wouldn't understand." Around that time, new movements were stirring in the real estate market. Property prices in the Pasagrille Beach area had begun to surge. It was the result of increasing tourist numbers combined with plans for luxury resort development. In Caroline's office, a graph displaying these changes was prominently shown. "This trend is just beginning," Caroline calmly explained to executives from a major investment fund. "Especially beachfront properties are expected to see further value increases." Her predictions were remarkably accurate. As requests for seminar speaking engagements increased, her reputation as a regional real estate investment expert became unshakable. Meanwhile, Michael's investments continued to flounder. As cryptocurrency values plummeted, he frantically began seeking new investment opportunities. April's credit card bills kept mounting, and she had started using new debt to pay off old debt. "Can't you do something?" Michael's voice had lost its former arrogance. Though he maintained appearances in front of April, his anxiety was clearly visible at work. New contract acquisitions had declined, and customer complaints were increasing. As summer deepened, Florida's characteristic humidity made their relationship even more stifling. April's makeup grew heavier by the day, and her outings became more frequent. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this," April announced one night that she was quitting her hairstyling job. "I want to do something else." That something else seemed unclear even to herself. Her eyes looked vacant as she returned home clutching new brand-name bags. Then, Michael's reckless investment decisions led to a serious problem. A property he had purchased through a real estate investment trust turned out to have severe structural issues. It was the result of judging solely based on surface-level returns, without professional knowledge or experience. "What should we do?" April, awake in the middle of the night, found Michael at his computer in the living room. The screen displayed a foreclosure notice email. "Evacuation required within 1 week," the cold voice on the phone echoed through the living room. April fled to her room. Her closet was cluttered with luxury brand bags and clothes. Unused cosmetics. All were luxuries purchased out of rivalry with Caroline. A mountain of credit card bills. Juggling multiple cards, using new debt to pay off old debt in a desperate cycle. April sat at her mirror and began removing her heavy makeup. With each revealed bit of bare skin, her guilt toward her sister weighed heavier. Michael went to look at the ocean, just as he used to. The waves at St. Pete's Beach still rolled in with their regular rhythm. Tourists took souvenir photos, and locals enjoyed their morning jogs. The scene hadn't changed at all from what he'd seen with Caroline 12 years ago. Only his position had changed. From resident of an upscale neighborhood to tenant facing eviction. From ace insurance salesman to employee on the verge of dismissal. The sounds of tourist activity drifted over from John's past village. He used to despise that noise, but now he wished he could disappear into that crowd. Just another passerby, unknown and unnoticed by anyone. When he returned home, April was gone. The dresser was empty, the luxury brand items disappeared. A hastily written note lay on the table. "I'm sorry. I'm leaving." Michael sank weakly into a chair. The beach house image still showed as a still frame on the TV screen. What was once a symbol of their dreams now reflected an irreversible reality. "Hey, Caroline," Michael mumbled to the empty living room. "You saw through everything, didn't you?" There was no response. Only the sound of hurricane winds and rain beating against the windows echoed through the room. On the terrace of her beach house atop 3 Palm Point, Caroline enjoyed her morning coffee. The waves of Pasagrille Beach rolled gently back and forth under the morning sun that shone like pearls. A year had passed like the ebb and flow of the tides. "Miss Caroline, the materials for the next seminar are ready," her young female assistant approached with a tablet. The screen displayed a presentation titled, "Real Estate Investment, Risks and Opportunities." Her reputation as a regular speaker at local real estate seminars had continued to grow. "Thank you. This is perfect." The aroma of her morning set from the Sweet Brunette Cafe drifted on the sea breeze. Unlike her previous breakfast scenes, now there was no need to rush preparation for anyone else. She truly enjoyed the luxury of starting her day quietly, at her own pace. The bustle of tourists could be heard from the direction of Don Caesar Hotel. The Hurricane Seafood Restaurant must already be preparing for lunch service. These unchanging daily scenes were blending into her new life. At dusk, Caroline stopped by a convenience store near John's past village. Behind the counter, a tired-looking man with graying hair efficiently packed items into bags. It was Michael. When their eyes met, he seemed about to say something. However, Caroline simply gave a quiet nod and left. Her departing figure still maintained its former elegance, but she never looked back. News of April occasionally reached her through social media. She appeared to be living with a new man in a small Texas town. Her posted photos were still flashy, but as her sister, Caroline could easily see the emptiness behind those smiles. "That's enough now," Caroline whispered quietly while gazing at the sunset-tinted beach. It wasn't about revenge or victory. Just a quiet certainty that her choices had been right filled her heart. Her Publix bag contained the usual weekend groceries. Dinner for one. But it wasn't lonely. Neighborhood friends who shared terrace dinners with her. Like-minded companions met through seminars. She had found her place in this new community. On the terrace, where the evening breeze blew pleasantly, Caroline opened an album. 12 years of memories in photos. They no longer brought pain. They had become a quietly accepted chapter of her life. "This was supposed to be our dream place," she murmured as she closed the final page. She wrote, "Beginning of a new chapter," on the album's spine. There was no longer any regret, attachment, or even anger remaining there. The hurricane season was ending, and gentle autumn winds had begun to blow through Pasagrille Beach. The wave of tourists continued unabated, and the town remained as vibrant as ever. The lights in Caroline's beach house continued to glow quietly tonight too. It was the light of the new life she had chosen. Her former dream had come to fruition as an even greater reality. The sound of waves announced the end of another day. Tomorrow, the sea would show its unchanging radiance again. And like those waves, she would continue moving forward on her path, quietly but surely.